Hey, Lee Robinson here from American Sentinel K9. Thank you for tuning in. In this video, we're going to talk about some tips that you should follow when buying your dog or puppy. And we're going to go to my website because I've got these tips outlined on my website. You're welcome to print them out and use them whether you buy a dog from me or from someone else. So let's go ahead and proceed with that. All right, so this is my home page. And on my home page, we're going to go here. We are going to scroll down, not to this intro section, but we're going to look here since we're going to talk about the tips on buying a dog. This is a short summary. It's going to list your steps. However, if we go to one of my dogs available page, you'll see not only those steps, but also a continuation on how we actually do our deposits. And I recommend that you review this again, whether you're buying a dog from me or not, because a good breeder, in my opinion, should have a somewhat similar practice. All right. To best serve our customers, we provide a great deal of information on our website, including a list of frequently asked questions. All right, now if you want to see those frequently asked questions, you're going to go to our About Services and a drop-down menu right here, and that'll open the frequently asked questions, okay? Your breeder should probably have something similar to that, whether it's me or someone else. Let's continue, which is viewable under our About Us/Our Services drop-down tab above. We have also provided photos, videos, descriptions, and pedigree links for each individual dog on our website. So if we're going to see that, let's go here real quick. We'll go to our mails page, just why not, right? And you'll see here is Bumper, and we have a short description of him. You can click here for his pedigree if you wish to see the pedigree, and there's a link of his pedigree. You can see all of his ancestors, and then we can come back to the page that we were just on. Let me exit this. You can scroll down a little further. You'll get his about info, like his date of birth, his height, his weight, etc. He's probably taller than that. He's probably closer to 27. I'm not sure. And then you can also click here to see training videos that are specific about Bumper, okay? Or maybe some of his relatives or offspring. All right, let's go back to that. And your other breeder, my point of showing you this is whether you buy a dog from us or someone else, make sure that that breeder is not just showing you one photo and then giving you big promises. You need to see evidence. Be careful about claims, especially in this day and time. A lot of people use the motto, fake it till you make it. I don't believe in that. I believe in evidence. You can trust but verify, okay? So get photos of the dog, videos of the dog, descriptions of the dog, and pedigree links of the dog. You may have also noticed that we didn't just have that. Let me go back to that real quick and show you something else there. You can see a hip x-ray. My vet says this is good. This is not an OFA. This is not a pin hip. I don't pay for those services. Instead, I just go to my vet who's trained in radiology. He takes a picture of the hip x-ray and he tells me what he would rank it or just how he feels about it. And we put his ranking here. It's not verified. And because of that, we post the picture. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can take this picture, print it out, and go to your vet and let your vet tell you what he thinks of these hip pictures, okay? So that's always an option. Next, so trust but verify. If inquiring about an American Sentinel, then you may also wish to review the American Sentinel breed standard as shown below. Now, if you're dealing with a different breed, let's say a Golden Retriever or a Labrador or a Plot Hound, whatever the breed is, look at the breed standard to see if that breed standard describes a dog that you're interested in. If it's the American Pit Bull Terrier, look at the breed standard, but also look at the breeder's personal ethics and history of production to see if they are the type of person that produces the type of dog that you seek. Since the American Sentinel is a breed that I produced, I have a breed standard down below because you're not going to find it in any registries. So you can click here and you can open this up and we'll share this tab and you have the breed standard. Let me exit this, all written here by me. Okay, so you can review that and see if the American Sentinel describes a breed that you would be interested in. I do not want to sell dogs to the wrong people. I want people that have their goals, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. We provide all this information so our potential clients can make an informed decision. While we work hard to provide the best possible service to our clients, we ask that you also do your part as well. Let me explain that. I am going to do the best that I can within reason. One time, we actually had a client reach out to us and say that he wanted to become part of the American Sentinel breeding and training program. And I was like, cool, well, tell us about your goals and what all you have in mind. He says, well, I can't do it right now. I don't have the land, I don't have the resources, but I wanted to reach out to you to see if you would buy me the land and buy me the kennels so I can become part of your program and advance the program. I was like, are you kidding me? That's not reasonable. Okay. He wanted me to finance a partnership instead of him finance his partnership. And that's just unreasonable. So there are people out there that can make unreasonable demands. We're not going to entertain that, but we will do our best possible to provide any service that we can within reason to reasonable clients. You need to do your part as well. If your dog gets loose, runs out in the street, gets hit by a car, that's your responsibility. I guarantee the health of the dogs, but I can't guarantee them to be accident free. If you're a negligent owner, you need to be responsible. Getting a dog is a serious commitment. So please ask yourself what your needs and goals are and be honest with yourself. You need to do this before you call me. You need to do this before you call any breeder. You need to decide what it is that you personally are looking for. Because just because something is cool, let's say a Ferrari, you have to ask yourself, does it really fit your lifestyle? I mean, maybe you move furniture for a living. Maybe you have children and you don't have enough resources to buy two vehicles. Well, then buying a Ferrari would be irresponsible. So be honest with yourself about what your goals are. Don't just seek your dreams and desires. Make something that's practical for your life. Once you know your goals, review our website and learn about our dogs. Study each breeding that we have planned, and if married, discuss this with your spouse before contacting us. Now, if you're a hog hunter and your dog's going to live outside and it's not going to be a burden to your spouse or family, then maybe you don't need to do this, okay? But if this dog is going to live in your house and if you're married, please make sure that you discuss this with your spouse before you contact me. I've had a lot of people take hours and hours of my time and they do their research. And then after they're done, they're like, okay, I'm ready to proceed. I just need to get my wife on board. Look, we want to provide reasonable service, but you need to do your homework and preparations before you reach out to us or any other breeder. I'm a one-man outfit. I don't have a staff. We will be glad to help you if you want to reach out to us, but get your steps in order. Do these things before you contact that breeder. Breeders are going to do their part to help you, and they will actually go above and beyond if you approach them in a respectful and responsible way. So there is a proper protocol on how to go about things. If you waste a breeder's time, they're going to have a hard time helping you. I want to help you, but I want to be efficient, and that requires you to be efficient. We will work with you to make the right decision, but we do not want to alter your goals. Don't contact me and then ask me what you want. I can tell you what I want, but you have to decide what you want. I don't want to alter your goals. I remember a long time ago when I was in high school, I wanted a certain vehicle and my brother wanted a different vehicle. But my brother already had his own vehicle, but he wanted me to get what he wanted instead of what I wanted. And that was just like, didn't sit well with me. I need to pursue my goals. He wanted a sports car. I wanted a truck. Okay. You need to know your goals before contacting us. Once you have completed these steps, we will welcome any questions that you have. We might have a dog that you're looking for, but we might not, and that's okay. We breed for our goals. If your goals align with our goals, cool. If not, that's fine too. I will not be offended. Why would I be offended if your goals are different than mine? I think it's crazy to think that everybody has to have the same goals. Like I said, some people want a sports car, some people want a truck. Get what you need. If you need a dog that's going to sit in your lap and weigh 10 pounds while you watch a movie, then we don't have the dogs for you, and that's okay. We do not want to just sell dogs. We want our dogs to go to homes where they are appreciated and well cared for. If I sell a dog to somebody that doesn't want my type of dog, there's going to be resentment between that owner and that dog's not going to have a happy life. And you're not going to have a happy life. So I want you to have a happy life. I want my dogs to have a happy life. So we want our dogs to go to the right home. Every breeder should require this of their clients. If there's a particular breeding or dog that you are interested in, we ask that you keep an eye on the website. I do not have the staff required to call everyone when a breeding takes place. We have people contact us and say, hey, I'm really, really interested in that breeding. Can you let me know when it happens? Well, if you have a deposit with us, sure, I'll reach out to you and let you know when it happens. But if you don't have a deposit, I don't want to be a telemarketer. I want to be a professional canine facility that breeds and trains dogs and has clients that are committed to those dogs. All right. Just like I'm committed to those dogs. I don't want to convince anybody to buy a dog. If they know they want to buy a dog, they can let me know by placing a deposit. And if they do that, then I will be glad to call them up. But I'm not going to play telemarketer games saying, will you please buy one? That's just not me. I don't like selling dogs. I like to breed what I like, put it out there for the public, and those who are like-minded see what I have and they contact me. I don't want to be a salesman and harass people. I hate it when people, telemarketers, call me. So the last thing I'm going to do is do that to you, okay? Because some people just say that to get off the phone, and that's fine. Just be honest with me and say, hey, I got to think about it, and I'll get back with you if I decide to proceed. There's nothing wrong with that. Just total respect, okay? Transparency is the way I do business, and I like for my clients to be transparent as well. Also, please do not ask me to hold a dog for you without placing a deposit. It puts me in a bad situation because more often than you would believe, I might have a dog available for 10 weeks, and then in 2 days after I made a new video, I get 4 or 5 calls in it on that dog. And then someone says, can you hold that dog for me? And I'm ready to move this dog to the right home. And someone else calls up and says, hey, I would like to buy that dog, but I'm stuck in a bad place because the first person asked me to hold it for 48 hours while they get their money together so they can buy it. And then when they don't, I contact that other person and say, hey, this person, you asked about buying this dog. This other person was not able to follow through. Would you like to? And they're like, well, I actually went ahead and made other arrangements. I got a dog from someone else because you said that dog was sold. It puts me in an unfair position. So while we want to serve you to our fullest ability, asking us to be committed to holding a dog for you without you also being committed to the dog, it's just not appropriate. Okay. Deposits may be placed on any selection listed available. There's no need to select the highest position available. What do I mean by that? So let me highlight that. I'm going to open a new tab and I'll show you what I mean. If we go to some of my breedings, you might see a breeding occasionally has dogs listed at different prices. So sometimes the first pick might be $3,000, second might be $2,500, third pick might be $2,000. And because they're all available, let's see if I have, all right, here we go, $3,000, $2,500, $2,000. Because they're all available, sometimes people think that they have to buy the first pick, but it's outside of their budget. They don't have to do that. You can place a reservation for the third pick if that is all that you can afford. Okay, we'll be glad to put you down to whatever your position is that you are willing to proceed with. Okay. Now, understanding that deposits are non-refundable, we ask that you do not place a deposit with us unless you are certain that you can complete your purchase and are prepared to provide lifetime care for your dog or puppy. Should we be unable to provide you with a suitable pup from a specific litter, we may suggest a transfer of the client's deposit to an alternate litter that meets or exceeds the client's criteria. Let's say, for example, that you placed a deposit for a puppy out of Scratch and Onyx, but then Scratch passed away, and now we're not going to be able to do that breeding that was planned in the future. We will contact you and give you the option to transfer your deposit to a breeding of your choice. And if the only breeding that's available that meets your criteria costs more, you don't have to pay the difference. That's not your fault that Scratch passed away. We will flip the bill on that on our end, and we will make sure that you are a satisfied client. Okay, next. If you decide to place a deposit, give me a call, not only to confirm the availability, but also because I like to speak to every client. I'm not just going to sell a dog to somebody I've never spoken to. I want to get a kind of vibe on the professionalism and responsibility that a person has. And while I'm not going to be able to meet you and go into your home, I will kind of get a vibe over the phone if I'm liking how things are going. I'm not going to try to get into all your personal business. It's just a gut feeling that I have to consider before I place my dogs into a home. I'm looking for responsible people. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. And very few people do I say no to unless they say something that's unreasonable. Like, I want my dog to roam around on the property. I've got chickens and rabbits. I want to know, will they live in harmony? Our dogs are probably not for you. Is it possible to get a dog to live in that situation? Maybe, but it's unlikely. Okay, our dogs have a very high predatory instinct. All right, so we just want to get a vibe of each client that we speak to make sure they're responsible and reasonable. All right, then send us your name, email address, your phone number, and a note describing which pup, breeding and gender, or dog that you are reserving. Once I have your contact information, we will send you an invoice through a secured link that you can pay. We will update the website as soon as possible once we have confirmed your reservation. It's a very secured link, and I will never see your debit card or banking information. It's all processed through the bank. When the pup or dog is ready for pickup, you may come here to pick it up if you choose to do so. If you are unable to travel and do not have a canine transporter, we can provide a list of independent canine transporters available for hire that we have found dependable. However, please understand these transporters have no affiliation with American Sentinel Canine LLC. I say that because if this transporter is working for you, they are not working for me. You hire them, you pay them, and if they get in a crash and your puppy dies in the process or gets injured in the process, that's between you and them at that point. If something like that happened to one of my clients, I'm going to do what I can within reason to try to help them out, of course, but I actually have no legal obligation is what I'm getting at. Anything that I do is going to be considered charity. Now, American Sentinel Canine, we no longer ship dogs to Alaska, Hawaii, or internationally unless you or your selected transporter can manage all the costs for extended boarding, socialization, vaccination, microchipping, and required documentation. I do not like shipping dogs out of the continental United States. I do not like doing it. Almost every time there's a problem, and then the client wants me to fix it. The problem is because you're unable to come to the United States and transport your dog. And when that happens, transports oftentimes take longer to take place. Puppies suffer from it, and then I'm asked to pick up the tab. And it's just unfair to me, but it happens more often than I would like to admit. There is one transporter that I know of that is very good for international shipments, but they don't ship to all locations, okay? They do ship to like Europe and Greece, and they've done some shipments to the Philippines, I believe. I can't promise that. But they have transported dogs to other locations for us, and they are very good. Mexico and Canada, I'm not sure if they go there or not, okay? But anyway, I do not like to ship dogs internationally because it almost never works out. If you are in Canada and you want a dog from us, find a way to get to the United States and get your dog, and then drive back home. Okay, it's much easier. After reviewing this information, if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to us. It is our mission to provide healthy, stable, high drive, loyal, athletic canine companions and to place them with responsible clients. We strive to provide the best service possible for our clients. Thank you for understanding. Sincerely, me. All right, and then you have a purchase agreement. You can download that if you wish to do so. Your breeder should have something similar to this, but I am not going to read all this in this particular video. You can see we have a client information sheet where we get your name, the date of the contract, your printed name, your address, your phone number, your email address, the breedings that you're interested in. You describe if you're looking for a pet class or a working class. You list the total price of the pup. You can also make a note, I need to have a place here for deposits, so we need to add that to it. And if you have a color preference, you can put that, but that's not always available. Then we have a few questions to help understand our clients a little bit better. So anyway, I just wanted to go through that, and let me close these windows. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to add them in the comments below, and we'll be glad to do our best to provide you with the best service that we can. You take care and have a blessed day.